So today is the day this channel turns 10 years old. It's an interesting one because I consider today to be the official 10th anniversary date, but when you look back on the videos, it's not really all that clear, because the first actual video that is branded as a Broken Circus video is actually on the Extras channel, on the Stockhouse, if anybody is aware and keeps an eye on that. And that was released late July, I want to say the 29th of July 2012. So actually it's a little bit earlier, in fact significantly earlier, almost a whole year. And there were one or two other videos on that channel pertaining to the circus, basically like test videos and stuff. Given that that's not the main channel, I don't consider that to be canon, almost. On a similar note, while the first circus video on this channel was the 28th of April 2013, I didn't actually then upload any other videos until like 2 months later. I think it was middle of June that I actually uploaded the first proper video that wasn't just the logo.
We'll do one and we can take out... Oh! Did you hear that? That's the big golem at the top. Is oh god, oh god, oh god. What are you doing?
And since then it's kind of just been a fact of life for me. It's been a bit of a strange one. When I first started out, I had an idea of what I wanted to do. Well, the thing is, I started YouTube way before I started the circus. So if you look at when the channel was actually created, it was like August 2009 or something like that. Yeah, I was in the game relatively early. I think it kind of had its massive explosion in 2010. Before that, it was a relatively underground thing. So my first ever videos were within that sort of just before it became a massive going concern. None of those videos still exist, by the way. There is one video from 2009 that's just a song that I made in high school. I thought I'd leave that up because it's a fun little thing. But everything else I deleted when I started the circus, which is a little bit regrettable, I feel. It would have been nice to look back at some of those, even if they weren't public. It would still have been good to still have them on the channel for historical purposes, you know, because they were around 2009, 2010, even 2011, I think, when I was just finishing high school. I was making the odd video. I do recall most of what I put out was pivot stick figure animator content, as it's called now. Content, that's what you make. I'm just trying to think. There's two videos that I remember distinctly. Although saying that, no, there's one video that I remember distinctly, and it was called How to Make a Fighter Stick Figure. In fact, thinking about it, probably the second video was How to Make a Basic Stick Figure, and it was just video recorded with the software Cam Studio, because I don't think Hypercam worked very well on my computer. Yeah, that was back in the Hypercam days. It was just recording of me making a stick figure to the soundtrack of Halo Reach. And if I recall, yeah, I'm pretty sure the video predated the release date of Halo Reach, and I'd used the one of the tracks that they'd uploaded just to tease the game and tease what the soundtrack would be like. It really didn't fit properly with the video, but it was, you know, it was what we did back in the day. Edited with Windows Movie Maker, of course. And yeah, that was the fighter one. I don't remember what music I used for the other one, if any. They were kind of my stock in trade, the pivot videos. I did quite a few of those, if I remember. But there were a few others. I remember there was a video on how to make a door in Doom Builder 2. One of the most basic things you can do, and for some reason I thought, okay, I'll make a video on this. And that was on my netbook. I do intend to make a video on that machine, actually, at some stage. I have a very distinct memory of that as well, because I made it, and then I just uploaded it pretty much straight away. I didn't watch it back or anything. This was before I got the courage to just watch my videos back. I just put it straight up. It wasn't until like a few weeks later that I realised there was actually voice. It was recording my voice in that video, and I hadn't realised. So there was a bit towards the end of that video where my dad said something, and then I said to him, "Oh, that's good. I can go play Super Mario." It was not a good thing to have at the end of my video, just out of the blue. Particularly since it was Doom, and it's two totally different games. So that video got deleted. What else was there? There was a period where I did reviews of random items that I owned in the style of Ashen's friend of the show, it has to be said. I'm going to make that is a thing. I'm going to make that abundantly clear. Whether he would say the same is a different matter, but, well, maybe you can go and ask him. But anyway, yes, the Ashen style review, whereby you put a camera sort of between you and the item you're reviewing and just have your hands on the video. The thing is, I didn't have anywhere proper to film, and he always has the brown sofa, and that's his thing. And so my thing was, oh well, I'll just do it on my bed. Except the lighting was pretty terrible, and I never really made the effort to get stuff out of the way. And the other problem was the fact that I didn't have any real video equipment. I didn't have a microphone, of course, and I didn't have a particularly good camera. Not only that, but I didn't have a tripod. It didn't have any sort of tripod. It's not like now where I've got a tripod, but it's insanely crappy. But I didn't have a tripod at all. So my method was to get a little white stool that we had. I would just pile things on top of the stool until the camera was roughly the right height that I needed it to be, so I could see through it and I could get a decent angle for my recordings. And it was stuff like books and random, those plastic folders that you put files in. I had a couple of those for college or school or whatever I was doing at the time. And I probably filled them with stuff so they were a bit more solid, but, well, they probably wasn't very solid particularly. Things like that, and just whatever solid item I could get my hands on that happened to be in my bedroom. And so this camera was just stacked on top of stuff. And I did like 3 or 4 videos in that style. I recall 2 items that I reviewed. Again, just random stuff that I had. It wasn't like I went out and got stuff to review. It was just stuff that I owned. One item was this really ultra cheap Halo wallet that I had that wasn't very good. And I compared it to an actual branded wallet that I had, and it was like, oh well, here's a wallet that I have, and this is one that I bought, and it's really terrible. The print quality was crap. It was one of these cheap things from Amazon. It was bad news. And the other was, I'd seen this advert for a stereo system that you could plug a USB into, and I was like, well, why would you buy that when you could get this random cable that you can plug your MP3 player to, and you can plug that into your TV, and it's just as good. Yeah, that's just as good as plugging a USB, and that's just as convenient. And TV speakers are always amazing. But I also remember starting to review something, and, well, you know how it is when you first start making videos, it's never very good. It's not like today where I can enunciate and I can throw my voice and I can project and actually pontificate when I'm making a video. I think it's interesting to listen to. It's certainly more interesting to listen to than this sort of mumbling into the microphone and not doing a very good job and actually not putting much effort into actually, speaking, and basically not feeling a great deal of value. That's what my videos sounded like. In fact, that's probably a bit better than what my videos sounded like. I was mumbling into the camera once, and I was reviewing whatever item it was, and I managed to knock the camera off, and I remember the end of that recording was just me going, ugh. And I think I just gave up on that video. Oh, it was so embarrassing. But yes, I recall there was one video as well where it was probably in the aftermath of knocking the camera off this delicate tower of a tripod that I had. And I filmed it lying across the bed. It was kind of like the bit in Titanic, paint me like one of your French girls. And I don't know why I decided that was a good idea. I think it's because then I could see the camera, but then I couldn't see from behind it, so I didn't know what the angle was like. Really weird. That was the stage where I really wasn't happy with how my voice sounded, because, you know, nobody ever is when they first hear themselves talking. A little word of advice, actually. You never know what you sound like. It's impossible for you to know specifically what you sound like, because you're hearing yourself talking, and that's what you think you sound like. So when you hear yourself back on a recording, well, it's always going to sound a bit different, because you've got an idea of what you should sound like, so you're perceiving it totally differently to how other people hear it. Therefore, you should try and remember that if you're listening to yourself back on a recording, try and keep that in mind, that you don't know what you sound like. And really, your voice probably sounds better than you think it does. Anyway, I had not quite got to that stage in 2010, or 2011, or the early period. So I used to edit my voice.
I used to make it sound a bit deeper.
And it probably didn't sound any better, really. But I remember doing that in Audacity, and it going into like the pitch shifting and stuff. Oh, yeah, that was bad times. So later on, this was probably around 2012 actually, or maybe late 2011. This will have been a bit after I discovered the world of machinima online and on YouTube. And I was very excited by the idea of people making videos on my favourite game at the time, Halo 3. And the thing is, that game had a theatre mode. There were all sorts of guides online on how to record off your Xbox and other consoles besides. I think even Digital Fear, aka John CJG, massive machinima creator at the time, he made a guide on what he used for his videos, and this corresponds to quite a few guides that I saw online and forum posts and things like that. They all pointed towards this one device, and it was called a Pinnacle Dazzle. Now, I'm not going to go into massive detail about this because I do have a specific video planned on this topic, but some of my very earliest videos, which I deleted, I think they were on my spare channel because that existed for quite some time alongside my main channel. That's always been there. I attempted to record some gameplay off my Wii, just as a test. And could I get it to work at all? Could I balls? May have been to do with the fact that I was recording it on my netbook, my Dell Inspiron Mini 10V, something like that. So that'll have been part of the issue, but part of it as well was because I just didn't understand video signals at the time. So, you know, there was a lot to go wrong there. But again, there's a whole video on that coming at some point as part of the 10th anniversary celebrations. So, around, a bit after 2011, I mean, that was the era of the YouTube poop, and man, I made a few of those. I do remember what the most viewed video on my channel was, and I didn't really realise how many views it had until after I deleted it, and I'm, again, regretting that I deleted it because it was, you know, a bit of history. I distinctly remember this video. It was, do you know that gif of the horse with two legs and it's running along a field and it's just like this endless field? It's only like 3 seconds long, but it loops really well. There were quite a few videos of that, and it was like horse running while I play fitting music. And appropriately enough, it was that gif just repeated over and over in Windows Movie Maker, invariably, and somebody had put some music behind it, some hilarious music. So I did the same, and I put the music track Slider from Super Mario 64, I put that behind the horse. And I think I may be misremembering here, but I'm pretty sure it got into the hundreds of thousands for views. I doubt that it would do the same if I uploaded it again. I want to say it was around 130k just for that video. It might have even been more. And there were a couple of others. I did attempt the YouTube poop thing. I don't think I got particularly far with it. I remember trying to download all the clips from Hotel Mario and not being able to find them anywhere. Those were the days. And that kind of brings us to mid-2012, when I came up with Broken Circus. The name of the channel is an interesting thing. I don't know where the heck I got the name Broken Circus from, originally. I only used it because one day I went onto my Steam profile. I think I must have been like updating my avatar or my name or something. And I had written in the sort of biography description area, "A broken circus, ? I concur." Now, I don't know why I would have written that. I don't remember having written that, but I thought it sounded quite good, so I used it. I thought, okay, well, maybe that's what my channel can be called. And so, I worked on a logo. There is like I said, there's a video on the Stockhouse of the original ident as it was, and that was in 2012. And that actually is not the original logo. That's the logo that I used until like 2017, I want to say. But that wasn't the original. The original was, it was like at a 3/4 angle, and it had an outline on it. I did actually try and recreate it, and it looked terrible, and it probably looked terrible back then. But it had the hallmarks, you know. It had the blue, then the stripes, and the thunderbolt. I don't think that logo ever actually saw the light of day. It was just sat on a hard drive, and obviously I remade it in fairly short order. That was the start of it. Like I said, I didn't really do much beyond that. I'd just built my very first computer like the year before. In 2012, I was just started college. So at the time, my best friend had introduced me to a fantastic YouTube channel. Well, it was Total Biscuit's YouTube channel, and I was very impressed by Total Biscuit. So I was very inspired by him. I was also inspired by, like I said, Stuart Ashen. And also, I'd recently discovered the Yogscast, and that was probably later on in 2012, when they were doing the Jaffa Factory series, the original Tech It series. I remember that coming out, actually. I don't think I was there when it first started, but I was there fairly early on. And I watched that, and I loved that series. And it all kind of came together. So my original pitch for my channel was retro gaming in the obscure. So I would cover games that didn't have much coverage themselves. So that's kind of a little bit like what Total Biscuit did. Space Sims. I should play some of them, actually. God. Flying Friday, that'd be cool. I can't really, I can't do a day for racing, though, can I? I can't do Racing Monday, that doesn't really work. Ow! But I was also very inspired by the Yogscast and very inspired by the Tech It series, and I thought, okay, well, here's the thing. Minecraft, very popular right now. So, when I start my channel, I will my opening salvo will be Minecraft. I'll play some Minecraft with some of my friends, and we'll make a nice bulky series. I wasn't intending for it to go on like hundreds of episodes like the Tech It series did. That wasn't the intention. The intention was just to make a nice body of work to open the channel with, and have a nice progression, have some fun with some mods. It wasn't exactly Tech It, it was more, I think it was like based on Feed the Beast. I'd made my own mod pack because of course. And that was where it started. And that was June 2013. Yeah, middle of June 2013. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head. And I mean, unfortunately, it didn't pan out. I feel like it could have been something fun and something good. It might not have got much in the way of traction, simply because we were all new to it and the quality of the video wasn't amazing. But I felt that that would be a good place to start, partly because Minecraft was popular. Very cynical, I know, but I was hoping that would get a few eyes on the channel to start with. Second, because I thought it would be better to start making videos with my friends, because then there'd be some chemistry, I could bounce off them, and that was the theory there. But that was the kickstart of the channel, and I continued making stuff beyond that. Of course I did, because we're still here now. And I stuck with my plan of retro gaming in the obscure, and I played all sorts of games that I hadn't personally seen much in the way of coverage of on YouTube. Lots of DOS games, quite a few indie games that were more obscure, because, you know, indie games were massive at that time, 2013. I mean, it was a little bit after the massive explosion of indie games. So I purposely didn't do stuff that was mega popular. I did stuff that I thought deserved more limelight. Also, items and these little guys. You can shoot them, but I'm not going to, because it leaves you with an incredible sense of dread and guilt. Don't know what this lot are doing, just running about. Oh, they're like... And that was what I did for quite some time. And then, well, yeah, it wasn't much longer after I'd started the channel, but my friend, one of my friends at the time, who is actually in some of my earliest videos, he introduced me to Civilization. And there is so much Civ stuff early on, because I just fell for that game hook, line and sinker. That was my whole world for a significant amount of time. Playing another game of Civ 4 for the benefit of the viewers. We're playing a fantastic mod pack thing called Extra, which has a load of cool stuff in it, and we'll go into that when we actually start playing. It may not look like it, but there's a ton of new content. So I'm going to launch the game. Here's the thing, I am absolutely no good at Civilization. So again, it was good that I was playing it with him. We did quite a lot of multiplayer stuff, and later on I did some more single-player stuff of my own. We'll get onto that in just a moment. I felt that that was, again, a good way to, you know, get a good body of content on the channel. And I have some fun doing it. That was the key thing. It needed to still be fun and rewarding for us. So Civ was a massive concern on the channel in the early days, and that leads into one of the more popular things that I've done on the channel. I think it was 2014, so like mid 2014, maybe sort of September time. Caveman to Cosmos. This was interesting because this was the first time anybody had sort of got in touch with me and said, hey, I've made this thing. How do you fancy playing it? And I said, okay, I'll do this thing. I definitely saw Quill18's videos on C2C. Quill18 being a major player in the YouTube Grand Strategy and 4X game space. And I'm just trying to remember if I saw that first before I was messaged about it, or if I was messaged first and then looked that video up to get an idea of what it was all about. Either way, those two events sort of coincided, and I made my own series on C2C, well, Caveman to Cosmos. The main reason why I haven't played this for a while, actually, is because it takes so long to load, and every time I've thought about it, I just thought, oh, can I be arsed? Well, it's now nearly 10 past 11 at night, so I thought to myself, hey, best records Caveman to Cosmos. Yep, back to Caveman to Cosmos, arguably one of the most popular series on this channel. In fact, I've had a person add me as a friend on Steam from this series, so if I stop it, then that's a terrible idea. Posted it on the Civ forums as well, and it got quite a bit of traction. People were very impressed by my videos. And I played out the whole of the prehistoric era, that was it, yeah. With a view to finishing that and then starting a new game in the ancient era and playing through until the end, sort of the very end game. All good intentions, you know, but sometimes the best intentions have the worst outcomes, and guess who didn't end up doing the second part of that series? there's been a lot of things on the channel that I've done and sort of closed out the video and said, I will continue this, or I will come back to this and show you any future updates. I will be covering the patches as and when they appear. Oh, I've just received my shooty. That's very nice. One of the big examples for me was my playthrough of Mark of the Ninja. Times were rather busy and I had work to do for my studies. And so I think I was probably a little bit burnt out. When I did Mark of the Ninja, I'd just come off the back of playing just a solo playthrough of Mark of the Ninja for fun, and I thought, flipping hell, this is a good game, I want to play it again and I want to record it. Got 4 episodes in and gave it up. But I thought it would be funny to constantly refer back to the fact that I'd stopped playing it in future videos. So they will come running. I know I'll lose points for alerting the alarm. But if I can time this right now, come on. Yes! Done it! Yeah! So now, I can, what am I going to do now? I could, of course, throw this body at this guard and terrorise him. I don't think anybody really caught on to that, but that was a good example of when I've just sort of given something up. There was another instance, one of the Minecraft adventure maps that I played, I open it by saying something like... Right on the farm, I mean, I'm not really running out of stuff to do, but it just gets a bit dull sometimes. Sometimes you just want a bit of a break for something that somebody else has made. Now, Minecraft, I should probably mention that Minecraft's never really gone away in the history of the channel. I know it's one of the most popular games ever made, and so I should be shunning it because the channel's all about retro gaming in the obscure, so no, I say. But it's just such a wonderful, incredible bit of software, and, you know, I go back to it on occasion and I think, you know, I'll play a bit of Minecraft. And I'll go down the whole modding rabbit hole and see what's new and see what's available. With that in mind, just as Minecraft has never really gone away in my personal, you know, gaming career, so too has it always been part of the background on the YouTube channel. When I started, there was Minecraft, and I continued doing little bits of Minecraft. I looked at all these different mod packs. There was Big Dig that I got 2 episodes into, and it seems like I recorded more, but I never actually did anything with the footage, and that's probably long gone now. Reet. First things first. Down you go, tree. That's just ridiculous. I think that's a little bit up. Just a little bit, you know. Not massively. Just a little bit. There were a few adventure maps that I recorded, then forgot I recorded, and then a couple of years later I found them and I was like, ooh, I'll put them on YouTube, why not? I did a lot of stuff that was never actually seen. I don't remember exactly what off the top of my head, but there's been quite a few videos that I've recorded and either thought, oh, it's not really all that good thinking about it, or I've just forgotten that it was a thing. We use this machine here, which is called a metallurgic infuser. Stick the coal in the left there. You might be able to see the bar going up here, though it's a bit subtle, shall we say. And then we stick the enriched iron in here, and we get a really awesome noise. Wait for it. Now, if that's not the business, I don't know what is. So, the thing with the Manhattan Project was, it never really had a proper ending. So, I started it out, and that was supposed to be a continuation / revival of the whole multiplayer Minecraft thing that I'd started the channel with. Again, the feeling wasn't really there, but I was so happy with how the pack had come out, the mod pack, that I decided to do my own solo series, in which I played through some of the mods and demonstrated the pack. There are 16 episodes that are available to the public. There are 2 episodes which were never publicised, and they've just been sat on my channel on private, I think, all this time. See, the reason for that was I updated the pack, and I started a whole new world because of it. So I wanted to make a sort of linking episode between the 2 to explain why there was a new world, and I never actually did that. So I think I had intentions on continuing that series, but I wanted to do the linking episode first, and I never did the linking episode, therefore I never did any more of the series. And those 2 hidden episodes only exist because they were filmed, I think. Yeah, I filmed them with the intention of going after the missing episode 17, as it were. So that's another project that I never really finished. And there's been other things, like the fact that there was a good hour or so of footage of the multiplayer Manhattan videos that I could never really do anything with because there was I had like maybe 3 or 4 videos. There would never have been any further videos, so I was always on the fence as to whether I should do anything with that or not. I always kept the file around, but, well, it never ended up getting used. You'll be glad to know that for the 10th anniversary, one of the many things I intend to do as part of the celebrations is to tie up all those loose ends and try and finish off any unfinished business. I've got a big list, so hopefully I've got everything. I suppose it doesn't matter too much if I've not, but it seems like a fun thing to do, so that's one of the things you should expect to see coming up. Anyway, where the heck are we now in the timeline? We're in about 2015, 2016, so this interesting year, 2016, because I was in the second year of my degree at this point, and I was very much focused on that. So the YouTube channel really took a back seat at this stage. However, it was at this point that I discovered the joys of streaming. It doesn't seem to have crashed so far, so I think we're pretty much sorted. Last night I tried streaming and it crashed horribly. But it seems now we are fine. So, Crash Bandicoot 3, everybody. And so this was when I started my Twitch channel. Again, probably about March-ish? Maybe a bit later? And, well, I just played whatever came to mind. I didn't have a strict schedule to start with, and then eventually it became Sundays at 7 PM. Yeah, there was nothing particularly set in stone with the stream at that stage. I was just like, well, I fancy playing this, so let's play this. I missed a fair few streams. I said when I got my Sunday at 7 PM thing going, I managed to miss a whole bunch of them, and sometimes I'd be late, and sometimes I just wouldn't stream at all, and then I'd be like, oh damn, I went to stream last night. But eventually it got going and picked up a few regulars, probably about 6 months maybe later. I started to do sort of full playthroughs of classic games. What did I start with actually? I probably started with Spyro, thinking about it, because I'd started to do a Spyro 2 playthrough on YouTube, didn't finish that, and then decided to finish it off on Twitch. Oh, there's a lot of time management to be done here, and that's not something I'm very good at. Yeah. Oh, come on, last one. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Ooh, no, no, no. Yes. And then I did Spyro 3, and then I think I 100%ed that. In fact, that was the first planned 100% run that I'd done, and then it just kind of went on from there. But it wasn't until 4 years later, in mid-2020, that the Twitch channel really took off, and that was when I did the Streamathon to benefit the Centre for Computing History, which I have not shut up about since. There is somewhere, I think it might be here, where you can slam the ground and just get straight through to it without actually doing anything. I mean, I'm not going to try and do it, but it is... Oh! Never mind. I didn't even mean to do that, and it just did it anyway. That goes to show how easy it is to do. Damn. That was fantastic, and I mean, if you want to know more about that, there's plenty of archival footage of that on Twitch. I won't bore you with the details because I've talked about it enough. But that was really successful, and you know, when people say it takes years of work to become an overnight success, that was the point at which I feel the Twitch channel really came into its own and became a true success. And, you know, there were other major life events that happened around that time as well, very important to me. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, I feel, because, well, I say that. In the interim, there's not really much to talk about. Because 2017, well, might as well say about this, because that was the final year of my degree. As probably you can predict, I was not thinking about YouTube really very much at all. I'm still doing a Twitch stream, but there was just too much for me to do to even think about YouTube, so that was my focus. And then 2018 came along, and other life events that too horrific to describe, but I managed to make the very first in, well, what my personal favourite series on the channel, and one that's got a whole lot of traction and a lot of people saying, oh, that's a good video, really well done. Hits 40. Shooting down invaders builds up your item meter, bizarrely. You'd think that'd be energy or power or something, but no, item. And the more item you have, the more charged shots you can do, but you can get item by doing charged shots. So once again, there's no real reason to do anything else. I did the first video on that was Space Invaders, when that turned 40, and then I've just continued it year on year. Took a hiatus last year because each one has been more work than the last, basically, and so I felt like I needed just to take a bit of a break from it. But that was a major turning point, I feel, because it kind of signalled a pivot for the channel into a more concrete direction, that being video game history and preservation. On a similar note, around that time, maybe even probably a bit later actually, I managed to get myself a decent capture card for my computer, and I managed to put together a really high quality setup for streaming and recording and whatever from real hardware. I gesture towards my real hardware that I have over here. And so around that time I was, I can't remember exactly when the first build video was. I think that was 2018, it was like early 2018, when I built that terrible Windows 98 computer that was just not suitable for anything. Anyway, that's all gone together now, so hopefully, once we turn it on, it'll all be ship-shape. And we'll just put the side panel back on here, and go and see if it works. It was a start, and I actually did a fair bit with that computer somehow. And so, yeah, from that point onwards, that's been kind of the theme of the channel. It does still fit with the whole retro gaming in the obscure thing that I had going on at the start, but it's also got a bit of a new identity since then. That of, like I say, video game history, preservation and exploration. A bit of what I now know is called experimental archaeology. Like the video where I made a game in click and play, for example. That is an example of that. Shift. There we go. Whee! Woohoo! He loses all his momentum when he lands. That's not good platforming. Okay. Now what? What do I do now? Where do we go from here? How do we improve on perfection? From then on, that's kind of been it. And as a result, those videos have been so big that there's not really been any regular content on the channel since probably late 2015, early 2016. And that's just because of life events and things happening that have kind of got in the way of videos, really. A while ago, you know, there was my degree and the work I had to do for that. There was also the fact that until relatively recently, I was living with my parents, and so I never really had a good, solid chunk of time with which to, you know, make some videos. And when I did, well, when I did was when I made videos, so that's why there's a bit, but not a lot. Now I'm in a very nice house and I can make more videos, but it's so small that it's difficult to, again, find a good chunk of time where I can sit down and just make stuff. And that's not anybody's fault, I hasten to add. It's just the way of it. And so I'm hoping that at some point soon I will have the space, the time and the motivation to bring regular stuff back to this channel. But until then, you're just going to have to deal with the sporadic upload. So anyway, I'm getting a bit off track here. There is one other major milestone that I want to mention, and that is, oh gosh, when did we start this now? I think that was 2018, or maybe even 2019. Mystery Arcade. So first of all,
episode on it. Let's not do. Go on. So
no, because what I said was wrong.
Oh yeah, you got so much wrong in this episode.
Yeah. So, first of all, the colours of the cars.
No facts.
First of all, the colours of the cars. I was mostly right. I'm not going to say any more than that. Don't say it. Shut up. Again, a series that I'm quite happy with. I feel that it needs some more refinement, and a lot of the episodes are long, rambling, and not really very entertaining affairs, I wouldn't have said. But the format is very strong, I think. So the idea is I put my brother in front of a game that he's never ever played before, and we play through it. Well, we don't play through it, but we play a significant amount of it. And then in the same video, we look at other versions, ports, conversions of the same game onto different systems, like contemporary systems, and see how they stack up. So the format is excellent, I feel. Again, that's on a bit of a hiatus at the moment, but I'm hoping to bring that back again when I have more space and a more suitable setup to make that, because it needs 2 people, and there's not really enough room here to have 2 people making a video at once. And that's kind of where we are now. There's not really much to add. I have been doing bits and pieces here and there, the odd unboxing video and a few other things beside. There's 3D platformer masterclass, which I started and wish to continue with, and there is another Hits 40 video coming out later this year. And, of course, a whole bunch of 10th anniversary videos, which I think will be a lot of fun. But before I close out, I just want to give a very special shout out to my wonderful community. The crew, as I call them, as I call you. It's kind of a funny thing, actually. I might as well mention this while I'm on the topic. So I call my community the crew because, you know, it's nice, and it implies a certain level of, support. You know, your crew supports you. I've found, over the years of doing YouTube, I've found that lots of YouTubers, lots of creators, they refer to their fan base as like the army or whatever, and I just think, why? Who wants to be associated with that? So that's informed that decision. But anyway, the crew. You have really helped to make this channel what it is, and you have revitalized my love for this channel, because like I said, it's just been a fact of life for me for so many years. 10 years. 10 flipping years. And there's been times where I've thought, what's the point? It's not going to get anywhere. I might as well just give it up there. But it's the joy of making things and putting it out there that's brought me back. And now that I've built up what I consider to be a respectable community, it feels like it's kickstarted a new chapter. So I really do want to thank you all for sticking around with me and being part of this thing. And I hope that you will join me in celebrating the 10th anniversary. I think I should also give a special shout out, because there's a certain person who has been extremely supportive and of great value to the channel for the past number of years, and that would be my wife, who is sat next to me and is looking very happy with herself. She has helped me in more ways than I can even count. She's just been so supportive. Even like at the start, she was well, that's the word. I can't really think of a better word to say than she was very supportive of the channel when I started it, and she's been very supportive of it ever since. So she's helped me with the Twitch streams, moderating. She's helped me to, spread the word about certain things like the streamathon, and she's been a good bean.
Hans Petch needs a new microphone.
So, Thank you very much for that as well. And I should probably thank my brother, who was, well, he's always said, oh, well, the best videos on this channel are the ones that I'm in, and whatever, man, but he has been rather helpful at times. The most viewed video on this channel, Dinosaur World, I called him in towards the end to give a little bit of expertise, because that's his area of interest. Do you mind if I include this little conversation in the video?
Absolutely not.
Right, let's try this.
As long as you credit me. Them deploy because they wouldn't be standing there. How scientifically inaccurate.
That, I feel, is quite indicative of his role in the channel. And of course, being part of Mystery Arcade and a few other videos besides. He's been a good fair weather partner for the channel. And again, I'm hoping that once I have the room and the space to do so, I'm hoping he can be part of more videos going forward. So, thank you very much. Really, there's probably tons of people I could thank, but it'd probably make this video a good hour longer. So, and this video's been going on for far too long already. So, I'm going to finish it there. So, this is the 10th flipping anniversary of this channel, and I don't really know what else to say other than I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and hope for the best, as I always have. Fingers crossed I can get to 1,000 subscribers at some point soon. But even if I don't, I'm still going to just do this thing because I love it. And it's always been there for me, and I'm always going to be there for it. So that's all. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of this. However long you've been subscribed or watching for. If you have been around from the start and you're still watching, I mean, first of all, I'll be very surprised, but second of all, do make yourself known, because I want to thank you personally. And here's to another 10 years. So, that's all from me. Oh, one other thing I should mention. This video in the background, my channel trailer, has the wrong logo on it, and I didn't realise that until significantly after uploading it. I will fix that someday. But anyway, that's all. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all for the next one.